Howdy gamers, it's me, Gaming Rambles, frothing at the mouth to tell you about my latest addiction. Have you ever wanted to place animals in danger?
What the dog doing?
Have you ever wanted to clear a first-person roguelike with up to 3 of your friends? Do you vibe with the Borderlands art style? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then Gunfire Reborn is the game for you. Plot. Gunfire Reborn is a charming first-person roguelike set in the country of North Taiwan. You start out the game as a violent furry on a dangerous mission to clear the dark aura surrounding Hong Kong. And that's about the whole story. Look, if you guys want me to cover more story-focused games, let me know in the comments, because I've developed a crippling addiction to games with minimal plots and stellar. Before you can start a run, you must pick which animal you want to endanger. Believe it or not, each of these animals have unique names in the game, but I didn't read the manga, so we're going to be normies and refer to them by the animal they represent. I'll briefly go over all the animals because they have different strengths that encourage different playstyles. Each animal has unique shield, health, and speed stats, a special ability, a secondary skill, and 5 unique talents that can be purchased with soul essence. The cat is the first animal you start out with. He's the best character for an elemental build, and he can make a decent sniper build, but compared to the other animals, he's downright underpowered. After losing a run, and you will lose your first run, don't hop in my comment section telling me you won't lose your first run, you get to keep your soul essence and invest it into permanent upgrades for your character. This process is also how your character levels up. After reaching a high enough level, you unlock the dog, at which point you should promptly drop the cat and never play him again. The dog can make the strongest explosion build, but it's in his two-handed machine gun build that he really shines. I'm convinced that this is the strongest build in the game, and later today I'll be trying to get the Nightmare Speedrunning achievement with it. The dog's last unique skills allows him to heal while dual wielding, giving him one of the most forgiving playstyles. The bird probably has the lowest DPS of all the characters, but his playstyle is the closest to Doom Guy. The bird prioritizes swords and shotguns and uses his superior speed and lunge ability to close him with the enemy and rip and tear. If you don't mind struggling against the bosses, this guy's a blast to play. The bird is also the only character to use armor instead of shields. I'm still not sure how I feel about his armor. It doesn't passively regenerate over time, but he has talents and ascension skills that help him recover armor when he needs to. The tiger specializes in lightning damage and long-ranged combat. Once you unlock his final talent, this talent is insanely overpowered by the way, he becomes the strongest sniper build in the game by a mile. In my opinion, this build is a close second to the dog's machine gun build. Also, much like Pavlov's dog, I've become conditioned to salivate every time I hear that beautiful crit noise. If you don't feel a raging erection right now, come back to this clip after you've played the game for a while.
One shot, one kill.
Just like Monty Python, this adorable creature is one of the strongest characters in the game. The bunny has one of the strongest skill builds. Just grab a couple scrolls to buff skills, activate your special, and watch your enemies disintegrate behind a barrage of swords. This, I'm still not sure what animal this is. This thing is the only other animal that specializes in close combat. His special ability makes him practically invincible, and he has a stronger DPS than the bird, so this character is a lot more enjoyable in boss battles. Now that you've triggered PETA, it's time to select a weapon and start your journey. There are 4 scenes to journey through: Indiana Jones, Iraq, Vietnam, and Siberia. Each of these scenes contain enemies unique to that scene and multiple stages to journey through, culminating in a boss fight. Each stage contains a series of areas that you must violently penetrate to reach the portal leading to the next stage. There's no cowardly stealth mechanics in this game. The portals, and in most cases the next section of the stage, won't open until you eliminate every enemy in the area. Opening the portal at the end of the stage also gives you access to the stage's chest. This blue chest will always contain a choice for upgrading your character's ascension. These upgrades generally focus on 3 areas: your special ability, your secondary skill, and general combat improvements. Not all ascension skills are made equal. The cat's is not that great, especially when you compare him to the dog and the tiger. As you progress through the game, you'll also encounter scrolls, peddlers, craftsmen, cursed chests, and vaults. The peddlers offer a whole bunch of stuff you don't want, and if you've already picked the big box talent, occasionally a scroll. As you progress down the expedition line of talents, you'll also unlock more items for the peddler to sell, and the ability to re-roll the peddler's store. The craftsmen upgrade your weapons. As you upgrade talents down the weapon line, you'll be able to discover weapons with Gemini inscriptions and change those inscriptions at a craftsman. Increase the number of times you can upgrade your weapon and etch new inscriptions onto your weapons. These curse chests will offer you a variety of options. Usually they'll offer you a scroll, a weapon, new buffs on your weapon, more max health or max shielding. These offers will require you to exchange money, a percentage of your health, or require you to gain a cursed scroll. Occasionally you'll spot a legendary chest that gives you the search scroll option. This randomly offers you a scroll in exchange for money. The catch is that each reroll gradually increases the price. This is my favorite red chest, because in the late game, money is easy to acquire, and you can keep re-rolling scrolls until you find that one scroll that just completes your build. The final part of these stages are the vaults. After you unlock the exploration talent, and this should be the very first talent you unlock, you'll start seeing these glowing cracks on the walls. If you shoot these cracks, a portal opens up to another room. These portals can be one of 4 events: a standard enemy encounter, a mini-boss, a parkour event, or a hunt event. The standard encounters are pretty self-explanatory. The mini-boss rooms require you to fight a handful of enemies before a mini-boss spawns, and then reward you with a choice of 3 scrolls. The parkour events involve you navigating a room full of traps to make it to a chest. Finally, the hunt events spawn a dastardly gecko you must kill within a time limit to receive a big reward. The parkour events and the hunt events change as you go up in difficulty. Combat. Each run starts with your Foundry pistol. This pistol has infinite ammo, but after stage 3, this pistol is your "I forgot to conserve my ammo" weapon. By stage 3, you should be using a different weapon. And boy, are there a lot of weapons to play with. This game has rifles, submachine guns, pistols, shotguns, snipers, explosive weapons, made-up weapons, and even 3 swords. Look, Gunfire's in the title. If you want to play with swords, go pick up Elden Ring. Ideally, you want your weapon to complement your character's playstyle so you can create a powerful build to destroy bosses and dominate in the late game. Now, I just realized that some of you are a little slow or British, so I should probably explain what I mean by a build. In Gunfire Reborn, a good build is finding a combination of scrolls, character skills, and weaponry. To explain what I mean, I'm going to break down my favorite build, the dog machine gun build. The dog's special ability is being able to dual wield during combat. Normally, there is a time limit to dual wielding, but there are ascension skills you can acquire throughout the run that allow you to essentially maintain dual wielding forever. There are also ascension skills that increase the damage you do while dual wielding. Finally, the dog has permanent buffs to dual wielding that you can unlock through his talents. So now we've established that dual wielding is powerful, but why should you dual wield machine guns instead of, say, explosive weapons? Well, this is because of another mechanic in the game I haven't fully explained yet: weapon Geminis. After acquiring the Gemini inscription talent, in the 3rd scene of the game, weapons will appear that have a special purple inscription on them. This inscription is a Gemini, and it will take place if the other weapon you have has a matching Gemini inscription. There are 5 of these Gemini inscriptions, and most of them play crucial roles in different builds. If you're going for an elemental build, you'll want the weapon 1 and 2 share their elemental advantages, and there's a chance to apply the elemental effect from the other weapon. If you're going for a sniper build, you definitely want the weapon 1 and 2 combine their crit X bonus but lose 50% stability. But my favorite Gemini inscription for the dual wield build is the plant a spore on the target when hitting the enemy and deal extra damage when the spore from different weapons meet together. This inscription is perfect for dual wielding machine guns. Finally, there are juicy scrolls such as Arms Dealer and Merciless Combo that significantly assist machine gun builds. This beautiful combination of skills, scrolls, and Gemini inscriptions make the dual-wielded machine guns incredibly destructive. Before I end this video, I feel compelled to explain something I didn't understand at all until I had over 60 hours in this game: elemental effects. The elemental effects your weapons can have in this game include fire, lightning, and corrosion. When an elemental effect occurs, you'll notice a corresponding symbol over the enemy. Corrosion slows an enemy down, lightning makes enemies more susceptible to damage, and fire does damage over time. Now, here's what I didn't realize for the longest time. If you place 2 elemental effects on the same enemy, it creates a 3rd effect. Burning and Decay inflict combustion, staggering enemies in an area and dealing an extra 200% damage instantly, based on the hit that triggered it. Burning and Shock inflict manipulation, which causes the enemy to attack other nearby enemies for 5 seconds, which is multiple lifetimes times in this game. Unfortunately, elites and bosses are immune to manipulation. Finally, shock and decay inflict miasma, which deals damage equivalent to 12% of the enemy's maximum health each second for 5 seconds. My only complaint with elemental effects is that they're limited by the percentage chance your weapon has, so by the time you place one on the enemy, it's almost dead, so you barely get to see the cool icon over their head. Finally, I need to talk about the incredible multiplayer experience. For the 5 of you watching this video with actual friends, the violent pleasures I've described so far can all be experienced in single player, but multiplayer elevates this game to a whole new level, placing it head and shoulders above any other shooter I've ever played. Before assisting a fellow furry, you should be aware that the AI in this game adapt to additional Homo sapiens by buffing the boss's health. However, that's a small price to pay for the incredible benefits multiplayer provides. Whenever you open a chest in multiplayer, each person is offered different scrolls. And here's the best part, you can give each other scrolls. Guys, I don't think you heard me right. You can give each other scrolls. This is an incredible mechanic and one of the easiest ways to try out wacky builds. After getting absolutely clapped by these shield boys in single player, I cannot explain how satisfying it was to flank them in multiplayer. The final thing I need to address is how much support the devs have given this game. Initially, there was only 3 stages, 3 bosses, and the only animals you could play as was the cat and the dog. But after countless updates, there are 4 more playable characters, alternate bosses for the first 3 scenes, and a 4th scene set in everyone's favorite holiday location. Years after release, this game is still receiving tweaks and updates. In conclusion, Gunfire Reborn is an incredible shooter that I would recommend at full price just for the single player experience. This game holds a permanent place in the most prestigious Steam folder, the games I can still enjoy while blackout drunk. If you have friends interested in this game, then I would definitely recommend it. For my final score, I give this game 6 furries, violently invading your family Thanksgiving. If y'all want to support my video game addiction and get this game for $2 cheaper than Steam, I have an instant gaming affiliate link in the description. Y'all have a good one.